they're not that dangerous.
Lice don't transmit any disease, but they can spread easily from person to person, and their bites can make the scalp itchy and irritated, and sometimes the scratching can lead to an infection.
If a friend, relative, or your child's school or camp reports a head lice infestation, inspect your child right away. Look for tiny yellow or white-colored eggs or nits.
Over-the-counter products like permethrin are unlikely to offer much relief because many to most lice are actually now resistant to those chemicals. And certain other prescription pesticide products like Malthion and Lindane can have concerning side effects.
Some studies show a non-pesticide ingredient, dimethicone, found in products such as Nix Ultra or Lice MD, can kill lice by suffocating them.
One of the best methods for many kids is combing out lice from wet hair, as long as your child's hair can tolerate that. If not, also likely effective are prescription topical spinosad or Natroba and over-the-counter topical ivermectin.
For combing, you'll need to shampoo, then use a lubricant like a conditioner or olive oil to make the hair easy to comb. Separate the hair into small sections, then comb the hair with a thin-toothed metal comb, concentrating on the area close to the scalp.
The space in the metal comb has to be small enough for a single hair to go through, but not an egg.
As you work, wipe the comb on a paper towel and then inspect for lice. Keep combing until you no longer find any lice, then rinse the hair with water. Now, you'll want to repeat the same process every 3 to 4 days for several weeks. That's because the eggs may still hatch for up to a week. A good rule of thumb, continue combing for 2 weeks after the last adult louse is found. And if your child has head lice, all household members should be checked and treated. Wash your pillowcases, bed sheets, and don't forget about the hats. Tom Rogers, Fox 45 News.
Well, a couple of leftover showers now. Riviera Beach down to East Baltimore City, Annapolis, and Selby on the Bay. But by the time we get to fireworks time this evening, yes, by 8, 9 o'clock, those spot showers should begin diminishing. There's about a 30, maybe 20% chance of rain through the early evening. But by about, again, 9:30, 10 o'clock, most of this should be gone. It'll just be mild and muggy. Temperatures near 80 down at the Inner Harbor.
Jonathan, thank you. Coming up on Fox 45 News at 6 o'clock, the governor meets with victims from this weekend's mass shooting in Brooklyn. Fox 45 News presses him for answers on why it's taken him so long to get to Baltimore. How is the police department not aware of the party in Brooklyn? We dig deeper into why Safe Streets workers knew about the party, but police evidently did not.
The people on the work have seen us. They continue to appreciate the work that we're doing, and I'm proud to be here with the people doing the work.
Fox 45 News pressing Governor Wes Moore for answers on his first trip to Baltimore more than 2 days after the Brooklyn homes mass shooting, where he says he's been. Plus, we're keeping a pulse on the ongoing investigation, what we know about the search for suspects. That shooting has some residents on edge, worried about the safety of 4th of July celebrations, what's being done to keep everybody safe tonight.
Live from WBFF in Baltimore, this is Fox 45 News at 6.
And good evening, everybody. I'm Mary Bubala. Fox 45 News demanding answers from Governor Moore about this weekend's mass shooting at Brooklyn homes. 2 people died, 28 others were hurt. Governor Moore visiting victims and the community for the first time today. Fox 45's Rebecca Pryor pressed him on where he's been, and he told her he's been coordinating state and federal response.
I just spent the past 4 hours with the folks who are in shock trauma, with people like Theo, with people like Aisha, and with people like Joy. That's where I was for the past 4 hours, and I'm proud to be here with the community. We've been working directly with local law enforcement and working directly with local leaders to make sure that when we get here, that our presence can be additive, that we know that we don't want to be a distraction, but we're going to have to actually do the work with the people on the ground. The people on the work have seen us. They continue to appreciate the work that we're doing, and I'm proud to be here with the people doing the work.
Well, you heard the governor say he's been helping coordinate a response from a distance. However, in the immediate aftermath of the Annapolis shootings last month, when 6 people were shot, 3 killed, the governor attended a press briefing the next day. The governor's visit comes as 7 people are still in the hospital, some of whom he visited today, and the suspects still have not been caught. Fox 45's Keith Daniels has the latest on the investigation.
Well, police are hoping offering a reward will help generate tips that could lead to an arrest and conviction in this case. The search for suspects still ongoing. Now, right now, that Metro Crime Stoppers reward sitting at $28,000. 2 people killed in that mass shooting, 18-year-old Aaliyah Gonzalez and 20-year-old Kailis Fingbimi, with 28 others injured, most of them minors, the youngest 13. Now, police say there's ballistic evidence indicating there were multiple firearms used in this incident, at least 2 or 3 weapons used, a deadly tragedy. Aaliyah's grandmother telling us she's angered by what happened.
If they had police presence, even 2 cars, even 2 police cars, if they were there, I'm almost certain this wouldn't happen. Whoever in charge of the police force dropped the ball and they're making excuses, and I'm not buying it.
Well, for now, no motive in the shooting. Investigators saying it's not clear if the victims were targeted. Now, if you have any information about this shooting, you're urged to call Metro Crime Stoppers. Remember, you can remain anonymous and, again, be eligible for that reward by calling Metro Crime Stoppers at 1-866-7-LOCK-UP. That's 1-866-756-2587. Reporting from City Police Headquarters, Keith Daniels, Fox 45 News.
Well, next week, the Baltimore City Council will hold a hearing on the shooting response. City leaders will face questions from council members about the tragedy and the response to it. There are questions about how long it took police to respond to the block party. Dispatch audio shows BPD was getting calls about people with weapons at that party and fights hours before the shooting happened, but the department did not send any officers to the Brooklyn homes. Keith Daniels will have more on those concerns coming up on Fox 45 News at 10. The Fox 45 News was the first on scene and to break the news of the shooting. Many were first to know through the Fox 45 News app and our push alerts. The app is free on Apple and Android platforms. Baltimore police investigating a deadly stabbing along McHenry Street just before 11 this morning. Police say officers found a 53-year-old man who had been stabbed in the chest. He was taken to the hospital where he later died. Anybody with information is asked to call police. In Baltimore County, police say a juvenile boy is recovering after he was shot this morning. They say it happened around 3 in the morning in Woodlawn. The victim is expected to be okay. Police say they believe the incident stemmed from a vehicle theft, but wouldn't give any more information about the victim or any of the suspects, including his age. Well, the mass shooting across the country and here in Baltimore on Sunday have some concerned about joining large crowds. BPD and the mayor are pledging 4th of July festivities at the Inner Harbor will be safe for all. Fox 45's Amy Simpson is giving us a look into the security measures in place for tonight's fireworks.
Still hours to go until fireworks, and some crowds are already gathering here at the Inner Harbor. This just 2 days after that mass shooting rattled a South Baltimore community.
How am I going to do this?
Setting up along the Inner Harbor.
I was on the other side last year.
A Baltimore-based food vendor,
Jerk chicken tacos.
hopeful to see crowds for the 4th.
This is the harbor, and we want people to know that it is safe down here to come and enjoy. Bring your families.
On her own this afternoon, this local business owner acknowledging the tragedy in Brooklyn homes just 2 days ago.
With all the stuff that's been going on, come on down, have some fun.
Good afternoon, everyone.
It's a celebration that we want everyone to come to the harbor and enjoy.
Baltimore police vowing a visible presence for Independence Day celebrations. As questions linger about the lack of police presence at Sunday's Brooklyn Day block party when 30 people were shot, many of them teens. An 18-year-old and 20-year-old were killed.
You will see multiple officers deployed through several zones around the harbor, as well as officers in the districts working to patrol and keep all those communities safe and anything that may pop up on the 4th of July.
Sunday's tragedy still heavy in the air as Baltimore braces for visitors for the 4th of July.
But one also sees the glare or the reflection of the fireworks in the water. And so that makes Baltimore a pretty unique setting for such a celebration.
Today, a local economist pointing to Fort McHenry, the inspiration behind the Star-Spangled Banner, as another reason to celebrate the 4th in Baltimore, but says Sunday's mass shooting could keep some from coming downtown.
People have a reason not to come to Baltimore, even when they have great reason to come to Baltimore. And again, that mitigates attendance, economic impact, and just the joy of living in one of the nation's largest metropolitan areas.
On Monday, this man sharing hesitation about bringing family for fireworks.
I don't want to put them in a situation where we have to be running for our lives.
While Flair Cuisine caterer says Sunday's mass shooting didn't deter them from wanting to feed visitors at the harbor, bringing more food this year after selling out last July.
Nothing is going to stop us. You're still going to have, crime is everywhere. It really is. But I still think you should come down.
And for anyone planning to catch those fireworks downtown tonight, the 13-minute show scheduled to begin at 9:30 p.m. In the Inner Harbor, Amy Simpson, Fox 45 News.
Well, happening tonight for the 4th of July, the Cherry Arts and Music Waterfront Festival will be hosting its own fireworks show overlooking the Patapsco River. The event will have vendors, live music, food trucks, and exhibits from local artists. And as Amy said, the fireworks at the Inner Harbor scheduled for 9:30 tonight. And at the Inner Harbor, the Baltimore Symphony Orchestra is set to perform at 8 p.m. to kick off the fireworks show. It's happening all at the Inner Harbor Amphitheater with fireworks around 9:20, 9:30 tonight. Well, across the country, Independence Day celebrations are still underway. In Washington, thousands of people taking part in the National Independence Day Parade. The celebration will end with one of the largest fireworks shows in the nation. Up the road on I-95, a 4th of July celebration in the city of brotherly love in Philadelphia. Crowds gathered outside Independence Hall to mark the day. And take a look at this in New Jersey. We are welcoming some new citizens. 34 new citizens from 21 different countries took their oath today on the battleship New Jersey. And speaking of new, how about a first Independence Day celebration? Our viewer Casey from Bully's Quarter sent us this picture of Madeline. Today is her first birthday. Happy birthday. A first on the 4th. Well, taking a live look around our region, storms have been popping up through the day today, impacting some outdoor 4th of July plans. Let's go to Chief Meteorologist Jonathan Myers for a look at what we can expect tonight.
Yeah, but you know, Mary, this is not going to cancel anything. It's just a few showers. I mean, when they come down good, but they're fairly short-lasting, just south of Towson, back to Essex, and then to Annapolis, Selby on the Bay, and moving over the Chesapeake. And look at what happens to those. They just kind of diminish on the eastern shore by about 7, 8 o'clock. And I think by about 8:39, all the rain is pretty much gone. And through fireworks time, should be dry as well. Coming up in just a couple of minutes, I'll let you know what you can expect temperature-wise if you're headed down to the Inner Harbor, and when we could see a return to more showers and storms. That's up in my Weather Authority forecast.
Well, take a look at this. Our own Amy Simpson snapped this picture of a sign at the Inner Harbor today warning people that smoking cannabis in public places is not permitted, and anybody caught smoking in public could be fined. Now, recreational weed was legalized in Maryland on Saturday, and the Maryland Cannabis Administration now out with the numbers for sales of recreational marijuana this weekend. On Saturday alone, Marylanders bought more than $3 million worth of recreational marijuana. Marylanders spent overall more than $10 million, and that includes medicinal as well. For the whole weekend, there is a 9% tax on marijuana. That money will go to local jurisdictions to benefit low-income residents and anybody disproportionately harmed by cannabis prohibition and enforcement. You can find more on how Baltimore City will use its weed tax revenue on our website, foxbaltimore.com. An update to last night's mass shooting in Philadelphia. A shooter now in custody, and why police believe the attack was random.
The lure of getting to watch all your favorite shows on one site is costing people dearly. I'm Christine Frizell with a look at some alarming new research.
Making headlines tonight, Philadelphia police announcing they have arrested a suspect in last night's mass shooting that left 5 dead and 2 others injured. While his identity has not been released, police say the 40-year-old man was carrying a rifle, a pistol, extra magazines, and a bulletproof vest when he fatally shot 4 men in a Philadelphia neighborhood, chasing and killing a 5th victim. Police believe the shooter had no connection to any of the victims, saying he seemed to be firing at random.
What happened last night in our Concession neighborhood was unimaginably disgusting and horrifying. On what was supposed to be a beautiful summer evening, this armed and armored individual wreaked havoc, firing with a rifle at their victims, seemingly at random, shooting 7, killing 5, including children, babies.
The victims range in age from 15 to 59 years old. Overseas, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky is wishing America a happy Independence Day. In the video message, Zelensky thanked Americans for their support in Ukraine's fight against Russia.
Dear Americans, I congratulate you on the best day that life can bestow on any nation that rose up for freedom. I congratulate you on your Independence Day. Only the brave gain independence, and only the best of the brave are able to pass the freedom from generation to generation. You can always count on Ukraine as your ally. Slava Ukraini!
The message comes just one day after the Ukrainian president asked to be part of NATO and days after he wrote a Wall Street Journal op-ed praising American ideals. Well, a new warning tonight about your tax dollars and your data. So-called digital pirates are finding new ways to steal your money, often with few options to get it back. Here's national correspondent Christine Frizzell with some alarming new findings.
The recent change in policy by streaming service Netflix that only those in the same household can use an account has sent users scrambling. And while Netflix has seen a major spike in subscriptions, others will choose a different route, logging on or signing up for what's known as a piracy streaming site.
We live in a golden age of entertainment where we have so many choices when it comes to TV shows and movies. Piracy operators know that, and so they're using the lure of free content to convince us to visit their sites.
But it turns out it's not really free. The free and low-cost sites that let you watch your favorite shows from Netflix, Hulu, HBO, and Apple TV.
I think that's what it's all about, embracing change.
Often steal your info and your money, according to new research from the watchdog group Digital Citizens Alliance, which found 72% of those whose credit card had been breached reported using it for a piracy subscription. Just 18% said they had not. The group also found out firsthand.
We acquired a brand new credit card, so pristine, not used for anything else, and we signed up for 20 piracy sites that took credit cards. We then waited.
Executive Director Tom Galvin says within 3 months there were $1,500 in illicit purchases, purportedly for grocery delivery, women's apparel, computer software, and more, originating from countries like China and Lithuania. Meanwhile, the groups behind the sites are cashing in, raking in more than $2 billion, both from advertising revenue and the low-cost subscriptions, plus those credit card purchases, and in many cases, being paid by hackers to install malware on people's computers. The warnings come despite a law passed by Congress in 2020 called the Protecting Lawful Streaming Act. While it significantly increases criminal penalties for those who illegally stream copyrighted material for financial gain, critics say it needs to be far more aggressively enforced. In Washington, I'm Christine Frizzell.
The Fox Triple Cast this evening. Well, looks like the skies have broken up a little bit on the Toyota Ishino Harbor Sky Cam. Also, the Mile 1 Town Cam had a rainbow on it earlier. That now gone, but the sun shines back. And on the HD radar, our latest weather maker with still some lingering spot showers and nothing like what we've seen the past couple of days. As promised, it's a lot less in coverage, but Essex back to about Breezy Point Beach. No lightning or thunder here, but it's potentially some heavier downpours. They're brief, but Bayside Beach to Rock Hall over the bay, we've got some rain there. I'm sure there's a lot going on the bay today with a lot of folks off, so keep that in mind, Mariners. And then some showers as well all the way down to about Annapolis, just east of Annapolis, really, across the Bay Bridge approach. So keep that in mind, too. Outside of those, looking pretty good as we zoom out on the national view of the HD radar. Most rain showers and storms are well to our south and east and way up here into portions of New England. Not a great day there with some flood watches. But here in Baltimore, we've already kind of paid the piper the past several days. Now a cold front moving to the east. It isn't cold behind it. It's really not even that much less humid. But there is somewhat less risk of rain and thunderstorms. And we've gotten rid of all those disturbances that have been causing all the nasty, severe weather days over the past several days. So, again, maybe a shower or two for the remainder of the late afternoon into the early evening, probably after about 7, 8 o'clock. That's gone. And I say drying out, but that's a relative term. Won't be less humid, but lesser rain chances continue for not only fireworks tonight, but for tomorrow, maybe a 20% chance of a pop-up, and that'll go for Thursday as well before rain chances increase again for the weekend. 81 degrees right now, winds out of the northwest at 5 miles an hour. Behind that line of showers in the distance on the Toyota Inner Harbor Skycam. Going to be a very active place here at the Inner Harbor this evening. Heat index right now at 84. That's helped out by that rain that's come through. Temperatures all generally in the 80s right now. We do still have some areas that have some almost dangerous heat indices in the 95 to 105 range out on the eastern shore where it hasn't rained. Otherwise, heat and humidity combined makes it feel kind of like on either side of 90 degrees right now. So stay hydrated into the evening hours. Those showers do diminish. That's good news. And by the time we get into fireworks time this evening, 9 to 10, 11 o'clock, looks like all that is going to be gone and a lesser rain chance for tomorrow. 72, partly cloudy, early storm or two tonight. Partial sun, still hot for tomorrow with highs near 90. And if you're going down to the Inner Harbor fireworks this evening, right around 80 and muggy and primarily rain-free. Exclusive 10-day forecast in a couple of minutes.
South Carolina seen a spike in boating deaths ahead of the 4th of July. The tips they're sharing to help keep people safe out on the water. In tonight's assignment America, new data shows more than 1,000 traffic deaths and 18 boating deaths happen annually in South Carolina. With the increase in holiday crowds, officials say planning ahead can keep you from becoming part of those statistics. Katie Solt from our Sinclair sister station in Charleston has the story.
Sunshine, water, and horsepower. A great mix for an enjoyable holiday.
But it gets really busy. We do see a whole lot of boating. It gets really crowded.
But one thing that makes that mix dangerous.
So there's no difference of if you're driving a car or driving a boat. You cannot be impaired to drive either of them.
a frustrating reality to responsible boaters like Spencer Hurto.
It's unfortunate that people think, oh, just because I can afford a boat, I can go do what I want on the water, and they don't put safety as the first thing.
Hey, how's it going today?
That's part of the reason Hurto appreciates the steps the Department of Natural Resources is taking to make sure boaters are prepared.
You got 2 wearable life jackets?
Yeah, one for myself, one for my crew member.
Checking safety equipment like life jackets, throwables, and fire extinguishers.
It's the most important part about being out here. You got to make sure you have all your safety equipment to make sure that if worst case scenario happens, you're not one of the statistics